Hey guys, my name's Caleb Foxworth. I'm gonna be taking you through the Beachbody Challenge meeting tonight, and I just wanna take some time and welcome you and say thank you for trusting us in this part of your health journey. We're really excited, and we know it's gonna be a life-changing time for you. First thing we wanna do is make sure that everybody's got one of the manuals. We're gonna be going through this together, so coaches, go ahead and pass those out if you haven't already. Second thing, we wanna make sure you've done an in-body scan so that we can use that as we go through the meeting. It's okay if you need to, you can do that after the meeting as well. And then the last thing is to go ahead and download the MyFitnessPal app. You can have it downloading as we go through the first portion of this meeting, and in about 15 minutes, we're gonna get to the part where we use that app. Again, I just wanna say welcome. I'm really excited that you joined us, and we hope tonight is gonna be a great time for you. Let's get started. So if you go ahead and open to the first page, the page says know your why up at the top. And really all that means is we want you to know why it is that you're setting your goal. Even if you take some time on your own after the meeting to really dig deep, we say that you can go 5 levels deep into why it is that you are setting a goal. And sometimes for a lot of people, it gets beyond the surface level goal that is what you initially think of when you do set a body composition goal, and gets to the deeper root of why it is that you want to make a change. And so we want you to be aware of that, because it's going to help you be successful when changes to something as emotional as food start to happen. That's going to be something that you tap into to help you be successful in that. We want you to know exactly how to achieve the body composition goal that you choose. So whether you have a goal for this 6 weeks and that may be different in 2 years, we want you to know that the process of making that change is the exact same. If you flip to the next page, we're going to talk about how you win the Beachbody Challenge. Okay, so the winner is going to be determined by 4 things. The first is body fat percentage loss. The second is muscle mass gained. The third is body fat pounds lost. And then the last thing is your daily points ranking. Okay, we're gonna go through all of those things in detail coming up through the manual, but just know basically you're gonna get ranked from everyone that participates in the challenge, and then the closer you are to the top of the leaderboard, the less number of points you're gonna get, and the lowest point total will win the challenge. You can look and see we've got some previous top performers listed there. It is something that we are really proud of, and I think we're gonna make a big deal of this on social media and help people recognize that over the years, even though we have some crazy results from a few specific people that you see here, what we've seen is also amazing results on average of over 200 participants, that we've seen an average of 6 pounds of body fat loss, gaining muscle while losing fat, so gaining almost half a pound of muscle, and seeing over a 2% body fat percentage change. And so that's over 200 people's results, not just a few outliers that you see here who've had some extreme results. For everyone, we know that this process will work, and for you, it can as well. For the Beachbody Challenge prizes, you'll see that we have a cash prize for first place. We're gonna give you fitness shoes for second place, and then third place is gonna get a Coyote swag bag of a lot of different things from the Coyote store at your gym. Let's flip to the next page, how it works. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose quality of food, and we're gonna set you up for determining what is high quality and how can we get within 90% of our entire diet being of high quality foods. Quantity of food, we're gonna help you set up how much do you eat, and we want you to get within 90% of that goal every single day. 100 ounces of water. We wanna be in bed for 8 hours and 30 minutes with no screens. Then we want to have 30 minutes of physical activity every day. We're gonna get a bonus point for a class workout. So when you do a workout at a Coyote Fitness location, you're gonna get a bonus point. And then each week, because there's no workout on Sunday, the bonus point on Sunday is gonna be if you were able to have no alcohol for the entire 7 days of that week. Okay, an example day, you can see that's how we're gonna score it. You've got a scorecard later in the manual, but this is gonna be how you're gonna score each week. Each week is out of 42 total points, 6 points per day times 7 days. Okay, so you're gonna see the manual, or you're gonna see the scorecard later on in the manual. Let's flip to the next page, keeping it simple. This is gonna be where we anchor all of the habits that we talk about in this challenge. Okay, quality of food. We want to provide a shopping list for you that's going to give you some ideas of high quality foods. High quality foods are going to be full of the essential micronutrients that you need, but it's also going to be a key factor in helping you avoid overeating and feeling full, especially if you're setting a goal to lose body fat. Okay, we want to make sure we're eating high quality foods that keep you full. You're going to be able to experience what it's like to not only feel full and not feel hungry, but also to eat less total calories so you can see body fat loss. Okay, the second thing, quantity of food. Okay, when you set a goal for your body composition change, so I'm wanting to lose weight, I'm wanting to gain muscle, the quantity of food is ultimately what matters the most. Okay, the quality of that food is going to determine if you have a good experience with that. But ultimately, we're going to set a number of calories for you. And if you hit that calorie number every day, you're going to see the change in weight that you're wanting to. All right, the quantity of food is just your daily energy that comes in the terms of food. 100 ounces of water. So we're going to have you aim for drinking 100 ounces of water every single day. Water is going to be essential to helping your gut. It's going to be essential to the energy levels to have a good experience when you're working out. And so we want to make sure that you're able to see how much of an impact drinking water is going to have in your hunger and also in your energy levels throughout the challenge. Sleep, getting adequate sleep is going to improve your hormones, your metabolism, your cognitive function, your energy levels. When you're sleep deprived, your body's going to overproduce some of the hunger hormones and underproduce other hunger hormones that make you feel full. And so what you do is when you don't sleep enough, you're going to experience a lot more hunger throughout the day that's going to make it feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. And so by focusing on your sleep and at least getting in bed without distractions of screens and that stimulant of screens, you're going to be able to find that when you are rested, you're going to have a much better approach towards your nutrition. Okay, the 30 minutes of activity, that can be anything. It can be taking your dog for a walk. It can be playing with the kids and having some intentional physical movement. So we're going to let you be the judge of that, but you're going to get a bonus point if you come in and do one of the hour-long classes at a Coyote Fitness location. And then the bonus point, again, is just for no alcohol for the entire week. Let's flip to the next page. So how do we keep track of the quantity and the quality? That's the one that for a lot of people is going to be the most challenging and the biggest impact in your daily habits. And so what we say is we want you to get to 90%. Well, how do you know what 90% is? Let's go to the quality first. Okay, we're going to help you set up your number of calories, and also as you do that, you're going to be tracking the types of food that you're eating. We've given you a shopping list that has real food. It's got lean sources of protein, it's got carbohydrates, it's got fats. If you look at the end of the day and you see all that your food that you've eaten for the day, and you would estimate that of those calories, say you have 2,000 calories for the day, if you can look and see that 90% of those, so at least 1,800 of those calories come from high quality foods, foods that are on the shopping list, and not some of the foods that are on the do not eat list or those low quality foods, then you're going to get a point for quality. Okay? Each day you're going to aim to hit a certain number of calories. Our goal is that you have 90% of those calories from foods that are on the list. Another way to look at this is you have a 10% margin to eat foods that are lower quality. So here's the other side. You do have a 10% room to eat the processed foods, to eat the sauces, the dipping sauces and things that maybe aren't high quality. We want to make sure that this is something that's sustainable, and we know that people can experience results even if they only have 90% high quality foods. It doesn't have to be all or nothing in order to experience results. Next, let's move to the quantity, okay? How to score points for quantity. The quantity of your calories is going to determine your weight. So at the end of the day, the results from this challenge are going to be determined by how much you ate or how much you did not eat. And so what we're going to do is when you do set up your calories to track your food, you're going to be able to very visibly see the number of calories that you've eaten. You're going to have a 10% window up or down. So if you're aiming for 2,000 calories, you're going to be able to have a 200 calorie window either up or down that's going to give you some leeway for going over or going under your calories and still getting that point. Okay, that's gonna make a lot more sense as we go through how to set up your calories. So let's flip to the next page. It's just kind of an FYI on the InBody scanner and how it works. But as you go through the scan, this is gonna show you visibly how your muscle mass relates to your body fat percentage. How does your body fat loss change your body fat percentage? How does your weight not always mean success? When we lose or gain weight, it can sometimes appear one way, but when we look at your body fat mass and your muscle mass, the scan might tell a different story. And so that can be a really good thing for understanding how total weight relates to your health. And so this InBody scan and this sheet here is going to kind of walk you through that. We'll be able to answer questions that you have about this as we go through the meeting. Next, we're going to go through the before and after picture. This is something that if you want to win the challenge, we want you to do a before and after picture. Okay, you can send that. We've got emails on here for you to send that to either myself or Coach Lauren. But we want you to take a before and after picture because we know that the results that happen over these 6 weeks are very staggering for people. And a lot of times if they haven't taken a before picture, it's really easy to miss how drastic your body has changed over the course of 6 weeks. And so we're gonna do a before and after photo. We've got a page here that kind of describes how to do that and how you can best do that to help us share your story with other people in the future. The scorecard is on the next page. You can see that. It's very simple. You guys will use this scorecard and manually keep up with your points, and then you'll report those at the end of the entire challenge to your coach when you do your last scan. Okay, so getting started, we want to make sure we're going to set up MyFitnessPal in just a minute. Go ahead and start downloading that if you haven't already. Next, we want to make sure that you make a priority to begin to set time aside each week to go and shop for high quality foods that you want to have for the rest of the week. We're going to make sure that you've got a plan for water. We want you to set an alarm to get into bed and also an alarm that you would wake up to. We're going to also encourage you to sign into Zen Planner in advance so you can make a plan and put it into your schedule to work out every single day. And then also making sure you put your scorecard somewhere that you can see it so that you can keep up with this. We know that it's really hard to remember things, especially after a day or two, and so we want to make sure that you keep score every single day. It'll keep it at the front of your mind. And then the last thought here is that the social support factor is really important for people who experience success. We have a lot of couples that go through this together and they experience significantly more results than people who are fighting against their environment at home. And so what you can do to help set yourself up for success during this challenge is have a conversation with those around you who are also going to be eating with you. We eat in community a lot. And so if you have a conversation with your family or those that you're going to be around and ask for encouragement along the journey, a lot of times they're going to help also set you up for success and not provide you an environment where you're having to constantly push against some of the habits that you're working to form. All right, now the most important part of the meeting. This is going to be where your coach is going to help you set up your macros for MyFitnessPal. Again, coaches, if you've got people who haven't downloaded this app or need help with this, you can help them on their own, or you can pause the video now. But let's go ahead through MyFitnessPal and we're going to talk through how to set up your calories. Okay, what you're going to do when you open the home page is you're going to go down to the bottom right and you're going to select More. The More option is going to bring up a menu, and when you get to that menu, you're going to hit the button that says Goals. Once you get to the Goals page, you're going to go ahead and put your current weight at the weight that you have on your InBody scan that you did tonight before the meeting. Next, we're going to select your goal weight. When you select your goal weight, you just want to put something that helps you think about your long-term goal. Oftentimes, the InBody scan up at the top right corner that talks about how much body fat mass maybe you have to lose to get to a mid-range of your body fat percentage. It oftentimes will also have a muscle indicator as well for those of you that are looking to gain muscle during this challenge and gain weight. But we want to select the goal weight, and then once you do that, this is going to be the one where there may be some differentiation. Next, we go to your activity level, and on the activity level, you've got a couple different categories. Lightly active is where most of our members are going to fall. Okay, if you're working out 3 to 5 days a week in the gym, but you have a job throughout the course of the other 23 hours where you're sitting or you're in the car a lot, then we're going to put lightly active. If you have a very physically active job where you're putting in 10,000 plus steps a day, maybe you're working at home a lot, you've got projects that you do that involve physical labor, and you're in the gym 4 to 6 days a week, you may select active. But if you're looking to lose weight, if anything, we maybe want to guess under, so lightly active may be a better option. If you know that you're very active throughout the day, you can select active. The difference in calories is going to be 300 to 400 calories, so we want to make sure we get that one right. Next, you're going to select the weekly goal. Okay, this is where you have some individual choice. We want to make sure that you set yourself up for success in this challenge. If you have never tracked your calories before, you most likely could select something like half a pound per week and still see amazing results. Half a pound per week is gonna put you at about a 300 calorie deficit per day. That's gonna be significant, especially if you have never tracked your food before. For those of you though that know how this works and you know that you wanna set an aggressive goal and you feel like you're motivated to do that, and you've got an environment that's gonna set you up for being able to do that, you may wanna select your calories all the way up to where you're gonna lose 2 pounds per week and aim for 12 pounds throughout the 6-week challenge. This is gonna be a big difference in the number of calories that you get per day. So I wanna encourage you to select wisely with that. Your coach can also offer some guidance if you're not sure, but go ahead and select anywhere from 0.5 pounds per week to 2 pounds per week. Of course, if you're looking to gain weight, 1 pound per week is all that you're gonna be able to do. That's gonna be a significant increase in your calories. Next, we're gonna go to selecting the menu for calories, carbs, protein. This is gonna be where you select your macronutrients and the percentages of carbs, fat, and protein that you're gonna eat each day. When you select this, we wanna always select protein first because that's the number that will not change for the rest of your life. We want you to aim for eating the amount of protein that matches your lean body weight in grams of protein. If you're using the free version of MyFitnessPal, you're gonna be going by percentage, and what we want you to do is scroll that percentage. It's gonna probably be somewhere between 30 and 45%. We wanna scroll that percentage that gets the grams in protein as close to your goal body weight as possible. Let's say, for example, you're 200 pounds and your goal is to be at 170 pounds. You have a long-term goal, and you know that you're carrying around 30 to 40 pounds of body fat in excess. We know that we don't need to eat 200 grams of protein per day because that's not your ideal body weight. Your ideal body weight may be 165 grams or 165 pounds. So we're gonna aim for that in grams of protein, or maybe just a little bit under. Once you select your protein percentage to the grams of protein that you've set, then you can select the carbs and fat equally to get you to the calorie number that MyFitnessPal has set up for you. With this type of activity that we do in the gym every day, weightlifting, high intensity exercise, we also know that carbohydrates are a really important part of recovery and also energy. What we wanna do is probably lean more towards putting 5% more carbs than fat, so that you can continue to build muscle and feel good when you're in the gym. But it's not the most important thing, and at the end of the day, as long as you're getting fairly close to equal amounts of carbs and fat, you're still gonna be able to achieve your goals. Once you finish this, you're gonna hit the blue check mark to save. All right, what we have is a couple notes down at the bottom. You can read through these, but basically we wanna make sure that you know that if you change any of those percentages throughout the challenge, it's gonna reset all of your macronutrients back to a default setting that we don't wanna eat. So ask your coach or screenshot that page so that you know you can reset it if anything happens to those percentages. The next thing is to eat the numbers you have set. We wanna encourage you not to feel like you're getting ahead of the game by not eating carbs one day or by fasting throughout an entire day. This is gonna set your calories that includes exercise, and it also is gonna make sure that you eat enough to support healthy hormones and also energy for your exercise. So we don't want you to think you can get ahead by going under your calories. If anything, that's gonna make it really hard for you to preserve lean muscle during the challenge. The weekends are gonna be something that we wanna make sure are a big priority for you, because for a lot of people, that's when we relax the most when it comes to our diet, but that's also a time that can make the most significant change in your progress. And so I encourage you, don't skip tracking on the weekends. If it's a really hard food to track, text a friend, text your coach, and try to make a plan to do your best to track those foods. Make sure you turn off any settings that are gonna subtract exercise calories. And if you've not tracked your calories before, you may need to aim for a little bit less than 2 pounds per week. So if this is brand new for you and you realize that the calories are just too low, you can go ahead and change that, and your coach will help you make sure you've got the right percentages set. Last note, 1,200 calories is the lowest that this is gonna help you set because that's just too low for an adult to preserve lean muscle mass and feel good during exercise. So MyFitnessPal is not going to help you set any calories that are lower than 1,200, and you don't need to be eating any less than 1,200 calories. All right, we've got a timeline set. You can read through that and see the timeline for the different benchmarks of the challenge. The most important one is that you remember you've got to keep up with your points on your own, and then as you get ready to turn in your scan at the end, you're going to make sure and write down the number of points that you had during the challenge. When you do your scan tonight, you're going to leave that here. So make sure you write your name on there very clearly so that the coach can keep up with those. And then when you do your scan after the 6 weeks, you're also going to do that scan, write your name on it, and put it up at the front with your total points number. A lot of people like to do a scan in the middle. It doesn't come in the middle of the challenge. It doesn't come with the Beachbody challenge, but you can do that and write your name on the clipboard in the product area of your gym. And that way, you know, if you get 2 weeks into the challenge, you'll be able to see whether or not you're on the right path. Over the next few pages, you see we've got a couple of options for protein, some lean protein sources. All right, we've got seasoning options as well there. The one note for protein that I'll say is the goal for us is to eat lean protein. When we eat protein that's not lean, we're talking about things like a pork barbecue or sausage, some deli meats. Non-lean beef is a really good example there. Oftentimes those protein sources are going to, in the same amount of food, bring almost double the calories. And so a lean protein is going to keep you full. It's going to help you fill up with a lower number of calories so you can hit your protein goal without going over on your calorie goal. There are some examples of lean protein. The next page, some examples of carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates are going to be your vegetables, your fruit, your starches. If you have specific questions about items that you may not see on the list, those may be good options as well. This is not an entirely exclusive list. It's just a great list to get started. Fats are on the next page. The big thing with the fats on this is that we want to make sure that we are measuring very carefully fats because they are 9 calories per gram. And so you could easily go over 100, 200, 300 calories with a very small amount of quantity of oils or nuts and seeds. And so when it comes to your fats, we want to make sure that you're measuring those for every portion that you have. There's some options for some good cooking ingredients as well under there. On the next page, we've got our foods to avoid list. Again, I just want to make sure that you know these are not foods that are inherently bad. These are not foods that you need to give up for the rest of your life. But these are also foods that we know are have a lot of ingredients that trigger certain intolerances that can affect skin complexion, how your stomach feels, how you sleep. Your sleep quality can be drastically affected by some of these foods. And so while these are foods that you may be eating every day, we encourage you to try to go 6 weeks with limiting these to only 10% of your total calories for the day. You can read through these. Of course, alcohol is on here, bread, pasta, tortilla, and also foods with gluten. Really, gluten and dairy are going to be things that we want to take 6 weeks away from and just see how you feel, how you sleep, how your skin may change. Condiments like ketchup, soy sauce, barbecue sauce, again, those things we want to limit to only 10%. But because we do give you 10%, a couple tablespoons of barbecue sauce or a couple tablespoons of ketchup are not going to completely blow your diet. And we want you to know that can be a part of a healthy diet if they're measured carefully. Corn, dairy, let's talk about that. With dairy, again, 70%, and you see it right here, 70% of adults show an intolerance to dairy. It could be something that subtly you've been living with for a long time, and we want to give you an opportunity to see that. If it's not an intolerance for you at all, you're going to very easily be able to reintroduce that after 6 weeks and not see any change. But for a lot of people, this can be a life-changing realization. And so the one note is that Greek yogurt would qualify as something that you can eat, especially because it's a great source of protein. But that also may be something you want to take a break from because it too can trigger certain intolerances. But that's not on this list. High fructose corn syrup, some fruit juices, jams, jellies, syrups that have sugar, some of the cooking oils like corn, safflower, canola, soy, frozen dinner, processed snacks, and then your sugary processed snacks as well. So you guys can look through that list. If you have any questions, please ask us. The next page has frequently asked questions about alcohol. I'm gonna let you read through that. I'm not gonna take time right now, but I just want you to know the biggest thing with alcohol is one, it's very easy to lose track of just by nature of what happens when we start to drink. The second thing, we oftentimes forget how much we eat when we are under the influence of alcohol. And the big thing with us is as we're losing weight, we wanna make sure we preserve lean muscle and build lean muscle. And when we drink alcohol, our body doesn't rest at night the same way that it would without that toxin in your body. And so when 80% of your growth hormone is produced when you're sleeping, if you're drinking even just more than one drink, it's gonna affect your sleep quality. And that is in turn gonna affect how much muscle you're able to preserve. So you guys can read through that. If you have questions, please ask. The last thing we've added this year is a couple of Coyote's favorite meals. These are gonna be some meals that just help spark some creativity, hopefully give you some good ideas for meals that you can plan for you and for the family. Guys, I'm really excited about getting to go on this journey with you. I really hope that we can be a resource for you for the next 6 weeks and also into the future. And I hope that you'll share your experience with others around you. You guys can take some time now in your meeting and the coach can help answer any questions that you may have. Once again, good luck, and we'll see you guys in 6 weeks.